Watch this. No way!
Erik, without further ado, welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. When did you land?
When did I land on this continent? A day and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, something like
Jet
that.
lag not too bad, left to right? Correct?
Right now, it's not that bad.
Good.
You can see in my eyes I'm lying, though.
No.
You
You've
see
said it on the record now, so
Yeah.
you're expecting 100% performance here.
Jet lag is a state of mind.
Do you think?
I can be more jet lagged in the same time zone than I can going around the world.
It's kind of self-fulfilling, isn't it? If you say you're tired, you're tired.
True. You just need to go into the ocean, like old Tom, into the North Sea. Are you guys jet lagged?
No, I am. I drove 6 hours due north.
See, same time zone.
And I'm tired. I had
feel
3 or
fine.
4 hours. I had Tom to contend with last night. I've walked a lot. Yeah, I'm jet lagged. Anyway, Bruce, welcome to the podcast.
I thought you were going to ask if I was jet lagged as well.
Another esteemed guest. No, you've got no excuses, young man.
No, I'm trying to keep to a routine at the moment, but it's not been particularly successful so far.
You trying to keep to a routine? What kind of routine?
Well, just getting at the same time every day, really. Fairly basic stuff. But
How often can you do that?
I think I've done 4 or 5 days in a row, and it's starting to wear a little bit thin at the moment. I think it's probably all going to go out the window over the next couple of days because you've got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Bruce is one of the really disciplined members of the
Are you?
jar. Bruce is, yeah. So Bruce is, lives a much cleaner lifestyle, practices golf, 4 hours a day, studious character.
I saw the height of his socks, and I thought this would be true.
Well, can you explain that? So, and pull them up, by the way, young man.
I mean, they're
we're not doing.
they're
We're doing
tall.
video as well.
So
There's no
you-
video, but these are 2 feet tall.
Bruce has been to Ely this afternoon, though. He's had to wear
thought
long
they were
socks.
from Ely.
Traditional golf club requiring long socks to.
And is there a color
play
that they
there.
can't be?
No, but I think it's quite nice. Just Sam and I have a bit of an obsession. Tom too, actually. All three of us have a bit of an obsession with trying to get the club colour socks, if you're permitted.
I see.
Going in and just sort of as a
So
little bit of a
so
collect
Ely is
item.
maroon and blue.
Maroon, yeah, and
like
then
a
I think
grey or a marl or something,
Oh, it's
aren't
green,
they?
yeah,
stripes
forest
with
green,
some,
yeah.
some silver accents either
Yeah.
side. So
I think Waldo has. Where's
like
Waldo?
them.
Does he have striped
Yeah.
socks like that?
It's pretty British, I'll give you. You don't see them in the States, do you? It's not a big
But I
thing.
quite like it in that they are almost so ridiculous, but in quite a nice, endearing way.
Yeah.
Then it's nice to have a bit of a pattern on them rather than just a plain sort of.
I'm trying to think of what else in the
sock.
world is ridiculous yet endearing. There's something out there. What is it?
I think there's a few things out there where you just like the sort of
Ian
pleasant.
Poulter, maybe?
Well, I think that's
I think we
debatable.
opened up a can of worms
That
there,
feels like an
actually.
early landmine on the pod.
Early step, yeah.
If that's what you believe, Erik, then you can.
Oh, I'm just curious to know about what your criteria is, not mine.
What was the qualification criteria for this? Endearing but absurd. Yeah, let's think on that. There's definitely golf holes are, and I think that's a pretty good jumping off point for the pod. We wanted to do an Eclectic 18 with you, Erik.
Yes.
Now,
This is the thing you do.
it's not a thing we do. It's a thing. Like, it's something we do with guests because we always think. You've heard of desert island discs as an idea, maybe.
heard of
So
it,
in the
no.
UK, it's a big thing. Like, people will pick their favorite 6 records from their life, and if they were marooned on a desert island, what discs would they take? And it's what it becomes is really their story through records and things they remember their parents playing. And I think that you could kind of link that back to the same with golf holes. So the idea being you pick an Eclectic 18 scorecard, holes 1 to 18. You can only pick one course once, and the whole number on each course must correspond to the scorecard.
Love it.
It's a mind-bendingly difficult task.
Yeah.
Now, I will add, we didn't give you loads of prep for this, but you were like,
I've been preparing my whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were
I'm ready to
born
go.
ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
And it's a dynamic task. So,
You just want to dive in like this? This is...
well, we're going to work it out. Bruce is going to scribe, but I actually think you're going to come to the conclusion more easily if we talk about your adventure in golf. Obviously, adventures in golf being what you do.
Sure.
But your adventure, and I think fair to say came to the party quite late maybe in life?
Yeah, I was 30 when I first picked up a golf club. So depending on when I die, yeah, pretty late.
Yeah. What was that like
relative.
then, coming at it as a 30-year-old?
Yeah, good question. Well, I mean, I don't know what it wasn't like, but I know that, what it was like was that as like a man, boy, 30, freelance, hadn't had a real job in 10 years. And, I think at that time for me, it's like I'm trying to go back and remember what it was like. Was I don't know if there's anything in your life that you've found and like gotten really, 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 really excited about, essentially fallen in love with, that all you want to do is that.
I remember that feeling with golf, but when I was young.
Yeah.
I remember that addiction.
So for me,
as a
I was
kid.
like a man. Like I was I had a job, and you know, I paid for my own gas, and like, so to be like taken back to where most people are a child, it was very strange, and it was probably maybe a bit more of like a questioning my own responsibility. Like, should I focus on work, or should I want to go golf? Really, is what I really want to do. It was an escape almost, right? Like it was a real moment for me of like unlocking, you know, a truly personal journey in the beginning, which then became interpersonal as Adventures in Golf became a thing. So, I mean, what was that like? I mean, it was like a romantic film, dude. You know, where you're just like, there's a meet cute, you know, and then you like go on a little train trip together, you know, and then all of a sudden they're making a sequel, you know, and now I'm 12 years into it, and it's changed. Now we're in a marriage.
Fully committed.
It's a little different
The two
now.
have merged, haven't they? And is that like an intrinsic feeling of hitting a golf shot? Is it the landscape? What is it that hooks you on it? You know,
right? It's impossible to make it one thing. It's kind of like even the most simplest things that we experience as humans, they're all like compounds, right? Like water and hydrogen and oxygen. It's like there's no like one thing, I guess maybe oxygen, but even that's 2 molecules of oxygen. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I know
elements and compounds. I like it. We find it hard to bring science into the
Dad's a physicist. It's fine, but I can call him if we need to. No, I mean it's everything about golf. Like that, you can't make it one thing. I mean, sure, the sweet spot, this elusive
that's the
slot
immediate
machine
thing to begin with. It's
Sure.
just that feeling of.
But that's never going to
Dopamine.
keep you coming back. That alone is not enough because you can, you know, I mean, like masturbation feels good, but like people don't make that a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like you don't go travel to special places to go just like bust a nut. You know what I mean? Like that's absurd, and it may not even make it into this episode. But that alone isn't enough. It's a social game where you meet people on the course and you share. Like you see a logo and you identify. I know. You're wearing the socks. Did you go play Ely? Like I know, I have a story that I can tell you. Or you
kind of tribal, but not really a welcoming tribal almost.
And then also, it's just like there is like there's also the nature, right? Like they've proven that humans are most pleased when looking far off into the distance in a non-square environment, like not a city, right? So when they're seeing organic shapes, like a golf course, right? Like when they see 3 holes line up and all of a sudden you can see a mile, like that's pleasing to the eye. And then you've got, you know, just being outside. So I think it's those 3 things.
Yeah.
It's the game is the minor part of it though. The game is the smallest part, I think. The getting better, because no one ever is as good as they want. Tiger Woods.
No. As you say, that doesn't keep you there for long enough because I guess pretty quickly you discover that it's such a difficult game. You're never going to really be able to master it in any true sense. And as you say, I think it's those deeper connections with the people that you meet, the places that you visit, that keep us all coming back.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of like Sisyphus? You know, the Greek myth about the guy who just pushes the rock up the mountain every day and he's satisfied with his own life. You know, he's like, all he does is push this rock up and then it falls down.
And he just gets
Next
up
day
and does it
pushes up
again.
and falls down, pushes up and falls down. And like, the question is like, was his life meaningful? And like, that's kind of the game of golf, right? Is it's like, well, would I, at the end of my life, will I look at my game and say, well, I shot a 67, so it was meaningful? No. I'm going to look at the faces and the places.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of like my game, that, except the rock gets heavier every day.
You start halfway
Maybe you
up the
get
mountain.
weaker.
I lose limbs, the whole thing starts
raining
falling
all of a
off.
sudden.
Well, let's pick some courses then, because I didn't get some colour on this, because it's helpful for people who listen to this to identify with maybe some of the places. I'm going to pin you for a few golf holes that really struck you early doors.
What's the question?
A couple of golf holes that really struck you early doors.
Oh,
We can get
okay.
them down on the card, I think.
Sure. Well,
So where did you take to the game? Whereabouts were you playing when you kind of picked
So I
picked it up
first hit a
initially?
golf ball in Florida.
Right.
So I guess I could pull a course from there. Is that what you're walking me into? You guys know what you're
We're
doing.
not
How many of
walking
these
you
have you
into-
done?
We've never had anyone dynamically work the card
No one,
out.
everyone
on the
comes
fly.
in with a written answers.
100%. We've
You know, I
had
took
people
my
lose their
SATs on
lives.
acid. Do you guys have SATs here? What do you do?
We have SATs and acid. I don't know what we call SATs over
There'd
this.
be GCSEs,
I don't think we've been. I think you're like
A
12 when you do
dripping multiple
SATs.
choice.
How old are you when you do SATs?
16, 17,
yeah,
something
16
like
or
that.
so.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We wouldn't encourage acid at that age on
Really?
this podcast. No,
That's a great time to do it.
Yeah, it's risky. Massive jeopardy to your future. But yeah, so I get it. Like
Jeopardy.
you'll
What
go
a great
there.
game. Yeah, okay. So, well, I wasn't going to pick one from the dunes. That's where I first played golf. But then mostly I played in California.
Right.
And my first bits of playing where all I owned was a driver. So I would just go to the driving range.
That is an unforgiving club
And I
to
would
just
just
be
rip this
yeah.
tailor-made burner, man. It was like
wow.
a 12-degree burner with a regular shaft, and I just
Wail
would
on
go
it.
over there in jeans, and I would hit balls barefoot at the range because I didn't have golf shoes,
Great. Wow.
and all I had was a motorcycle. So I would sit on the driver, and with it poking out
through
from my
the
butt.
sort of through
Yeah,
the
so I'd have
gusset.
the head
Horizontally,
right next to,
sort
no,
of.
No.
like I was a witch on a broom.
through the
Yeah,
gusset.
right, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. The horizontal method would have been a lot more dangerous. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I would drive over to the driving range with the driver. Anyway, I finally got some irons. Ping I2s were my first irons. I got them on Craigslist.
Okay.
Which, $90. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to back up here. So, like, for me, Western Gales, over there in Ayrshire, that's one of my favorite courses in the world. Personal memory there, I believe it's the fourth hole is the par 5. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah, as you come back.
Yeah,
First
so-
two go away,
Yeah.
3 hops back.
Three's
I
a
want to
short
say
one.
4 then, so it
and
goes a
then
little
four's
bit towards the
par
water.
5,
Yeah.
So I made an 11 on that hole. That's going to be my fourth hole.
Okay.
Get that
So
down.
it's the fourth at Gales. It's a par 5.
Classy place, Western Gales, by the way.
Classy,
Massively overlooked.
Overlooked, under what's it called? Rated.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locker room's amazing, and just the people are so kind. And
I
we had
think
a
one
great
of the
time.
coolest locker rooms in the sport. Good friend of ours, Jamie Darling, hangs out at Western Gales quite a bit.
JD was why we were there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we met Joe, the caddy. It was a great caddy, and we ended up trading jackets and hats, I think, and just had a wonderful time. And we had another great guest there who
We've got to ask you about the 11 as well just
The 11
at some point.
at Western Gales.
No, the 11
The
that
11.
you made there as well.
Yeah, we can't just skip by the 11.
You know, I mean, I got to hit the ball a lot of times. I got, there's a lot of real rough there. You know what I mean? So like, I found it hard to get out. And ironically, I birdied the first hole.
Right.
So of course, I've just got a target on my forehead. You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like here's this asshole.
Do you know Ian Woosnam used to hate birdie in the first hole?
Me and him have
he
a
was
lot in common.
terrified. He said the
Really?
worst thing you could do in a round was birdie the first, which is weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no,
but there was a fear that you'd gone. It was like almost
peaked too early.
Icarus. It's like it's all coming on at me. You know?
Totally. Well, I think Tiger believes that too, because I mean, when you look at some of his best rounds, they start with a bogey.
Yeah.
like he just opens with a bogey. And you're like, what are you
You
doing?
feel
And
so
he's
much
just like,
so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
on 4s.
Yeah, it's like
you can
getting
play
into a
really good
hotel
golf
bed.
from there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anywhere but up from here, yeah. So that'll be my fourth hole. I'm going to need to pull in a hole from Bethpage. Fuck, you know what I like at Bethpage? The
The
fourth
fourth.
hole.
And this is why this
Yeah,
task
This
is
interesting.
really,
yeah,
really
it's okay.
hard.
It's okay. It's fine. You know what I also like
Why
at
Beth
Bethpage?
Page? Why Beth Page?
Oh, it's just got a piece
you
of my
can-
heart, you know? Like, it's just, it was the nicest course I'd ever played at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was able to play it a few times because it's only $90 for, a New York State resident. And for a long time, I played red because I didn't think I was up to the task of black.
Yeah.
There's 5 courses there. Tillinghast is a great architect. I don't know. It's just, it's Mecca for like the blue collar.
And it's a big celebration of public access golf in the States,
Exactly.
which is,
Yeah.
obviously coming over here, we're very lucky in the system we're in here where very few courses are off limits.
Yeah.
And you can play Bethpage Black and it's a little bit more expensive than maybe a typical Muni, but it's
Yeah.
accessible, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that you've I guess that's one of the big things you kind of campaign for, really.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So Bethpage, what's a really hard hole at Bethpage? It's almost unfair. Actually, no. You know what's? We'll do 17 at Bethpage.
Right.
It's in.
The par 3 uphill. It's kind of gettable, but there's really nowhere to miss. The green is kind of you're hitting into like a kidney shaped green, and you're short sided. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I like that one, and then that's going to take me straight to 18. I'm sure everyone says Pebble, right?
Well, do you know what?
I picked here, I think.
Old course 18. reasonable.
But I would have also, I think in hindsight, I'd probably pick the first instead, which again goes back to why this is such a tricky task, because I think the feeling you get on the first tee box and the feeling you get on the 18th tee box at St Andrews, they're both just incredible feelings.
Yeah.
How do you decide? But 18th at Pebble is certainly a pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Bruce absolutely lambasted me when we did this. I picked the 18th at Palmetto, South Carolina.
Sure. Yeah.
He thinks I picked it because it had really close proximity to the clubhouse and an early sea breeze.
Alcoholic beverage.
Right.
Although I was going to be straight into the sea breezes. It's a classy finish. I like a good match play. Like, when we did this, we're quite big on match play golf, I think, versus stroke play. I like half par. I quite like whether it's an easy 4 or a hard 4 or a hard 3 or whatever. It's quite cool when you've got a match play finisher.
Yeah.
But Pebble, par 5 finishing, it's in. It's on the card.
It's a magical hole. I first played Pebble. I was my 30th birthday, and my grandfather, who had passed away, left some. He had created a way for all of his grandkids to go to college, and I didn't go to college. So I didn't get any of this cash that he'd put aside for all of his lucky grandkids. Of course, right?
You didn't get it. It was only for college. It could only be used.
I was able to. I was able to finagle my way into a French tutor. I wrote an essay and I was like, I think I deserve to learn French, and they gave me enough to hire a tutor to learn French. This is before Rosetta Stone, or master class or something. Before education was basically free, which it always should have been. Anyway, so there's this money, and I got a couple grand, and I was like, I want to go play Pebble with my dad and my brother and the guy who wrote Zen Golf.
Which
Dr.
you're
Parent.
into, right? Okay, yeah, cool.
And so I basically, as a 30-year-old poor artist who had just gotten into golf, I was like, this is the best use of my money. So I just basically put it together, and we went and played Pebble. And I had an iPhone. I think I had, or maybe I had a flip phone, a flip video. I had some small way of recording the event. And there's a couple little videos that are just you can see the pixels and there's the colors all off. It looks like film. Yeah. And we went out and played Pebble, and I remember just it's just magic. It's not, you could knock it all over the world by saying this or that about the course, but it's never about the course.
It's
about the time.
Externally looking, it looks amazing, doesn't it?
Sure.
Like the vista. You've played some golf out there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've played Pebble Beach once. And yeah, as you say, just as a place to go to, the vistas there are pretty.
Yeah.
You play anywhere else down
There's very few holes like 18 at Pebble where the tee box is as magical as the green and the fairway, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got that tree in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
And if you don't hit a draw, I don't know where the fuck you're going to aim, right? And you're just and actually I did have an experience covering the AT&T Pro-Am one year where Bill Murray, I watched him tee off on 18, and he sang while swinging. And the song he sang was, "It's my last chance for romance. It's my last chance for love." And obviously he was talking about this is his last hole of the day. And I don't know, it just was a memorable place,
And you can also walk
and I
your way
almost
to a
shot
cheap
90 there for the breaking
Oh,
series.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
If I had birdied the hole, I would have shot 89. So it's come up in my life a few times.
Do you play anywhere else on West Coast, particularly around that sort of peninsula? Right, I'm thinking pinched a few holes off Cyprus, maybe?
A Cyprus hole.
You did pinch one, didn't you?
I didn't. I snuck onto Cyprus.
Yeah.
And then I did actually play it later as a accredited
As a legit.
guest. Yeah. Cyprus is great. The really interesting course over there is Pacific Grove, which is this $50 poor man's Pebble is what they call it, and it's special. It's really got. I'm certainly an advocate of public golf courses personally. I'm not going to complain about playing a private course either. I think I love those too. But for me, when I first got into golf, Pacific Grove played a big part of my life because before I played Pebble, I drove by because I lived in my car and I would just drive around and play golf. And I drove by Pebble and I was like, wow, that's incredible, right? And it looks expensive. If you don't even know how much it costs, you know you can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just look at that grass and you're like, it's too straight.
It's unattainable.
Yeah, there's too much of it. There's too much grass. It's got to be too expensive for me. And then I drive by Pacific Grove, which is this $50 18-hole course on the water in Carmel right there, in Pacific Grove is the town. And I'm driving by, and there's a par 3 on the water right there on the road. It's the 17th hole. And I see a dude with a push cart and a shitty old bag teeing off in shorts and a Batman hoodie. And I just felt like I knew that guy.
Chilled.
And I might even be that guy. And that kind of signals the difference for me. So, yeah, Pacific Grove, I don't know if I'll pick a hole from there for this particular game, but...
How healthy is that mix between... Because it's so extreme in America. How healthy is that for the game in America?
Unhealthy.
You think?
Absolutely. Yeah, because
how do you solve for it?
Well, it'd be great if, you know... The problem isn't with the golf. The problem is with the country, right? The problem is that in America, first of all, there's a few too many people, maybe a few 100 million too many people. Like, it's just too big. How many people are in America right now? 400 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Right? I don't know.
350, so it's around
It's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, you have to know exact.
It's like way too many.
It's a lot.
You got how many here, like in England?
60.
16.
65. 65.
In the
65.
65 in the UK.
In the UK.
Oh, in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay. But then, like, Scotland is what, 5 million?
Yeah,
around,
not
yeah.
much.
Ireland, 5 million. What's England? England's 60. England's 55 million.
50-ish, yeah.
Massive.
Wales has about 30 people, I think, doesn't it? Something in that order.
Yeah, so imagine 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like stupid. And then when you have that, then you have just like a much larger gap between like wealthy and there's like so many like super
Huge
wealthy people in America.
wealth gap, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, I mean, wealth is a measure of success. That's great. Mad, like, you know, more power to you, right? Like, I wish I was too, right? But like, I think it's kind of like when you have, you know, people that are willing to pay that much, it's like it doesn't really. It's like there's here you have people that are like, oh, our course is private, kind of, but we actually subsidize most of the expenses of the course with visitor tee times. I don't know how you fix it. Honestly, I don't know how you do.
It's hard to unravel, isn't it?
It's like a different approach almost. I think over here, you know, you can play any open rota course if you want, if you're not a member. And for some courses, it might be you can only play on certain days. But I think even those courses, there's quite often, and there's probably no better example really, the fact that we're sat here in St Andrews, the old course is seen as, well, it's public land. And even on like a Sunday, everyone has the right to walk over it. And you could say the same for so many historic courses in the UK that the land is just seen as land that is almost kind of common to all, and there might be a club that enjoys a more sort of exclusive right to play over it, but they're willing for people to come and enjoy it and play the game too. It's been seen as more of maybe the people's game, certainly up here, I think in Scotland, as something that, you know, everyone can come and enjoy. Right. Really.
Yeah, we don't have that. We have courses that you absolutely cannot and will not ever play unless you know someone who's a member.
And municipal golf can be really bang average in America as well, can't it? It's like slow. Like bang average,
terrible.
it just could be terrible.
Yeah,
we're too polite, you know that. It's like really slow, isn't it? You've got to be at it.
It's not.
I mean, Andy Johnson, one of our, you know, joined our pod. He talks about a lot of public access golf in America. His scorecard is entirely public access, holes under 400, and he nails these courses. And he's like, they're great, but it's like Presidio. I've never played there. San Francisco.
Great
He's
course,
like amazing golf course. You got to be on it at 7 a.m. You're not going to get round.
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
Presidio's cool. Harding Park's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Under $400.
400 yards. Every hole was under 400.
Oh, interesting.
Like short courses, but
Yeah,
I like
I'd
short
like to
courses.
see Andy Johnson's. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I respect him a lot. Very smart guy.
So we've got Westingales at 4, Bethpage Black at 17, Pebble Beach at 18.
Yeah.
What about your first hole, your opening
First hole?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What would
first
you go for
hole. I mean, you know, you did try to talk me into St. Andrews there, which would have been good. But I think since we're here, I'm just going to leave that. And I'm looking at, you know, I'm also like, you know, I'm not like an expert on this. So it's like you can, if you're listening and you're like, that's a stupid idea, like you're probably right. So don't worry. I agree with you. I don't have an opinion really too deeply, but I'm just picking these kind of for fun. You know, for me, like there's this like little golf course in Long Island called Maidstone, which is not like, you know, it's a wonderfully private club. Like
Great
it's
logo.
super fucking exclusive.
Whale.
Great logo. And it's also just like, it's kind of like, it's this sort of like totally ridiculous version of like eliteness, right? Like it's very elite. Like it's one of those clubs where it's like they know you don't belong if you drive by. You know what I mean? But the clubhouse is really beautiful, and like this first hole is downhill. It's usually downwind, It's a big wide fairway, and it just feels good. You know, there's something about like an uphill first hole is sort of like, do you hate me? Right? Like, why the game into the wind uphill? Like, that's crazy. So it's like this downhill walk, and then right after you're done, you cross the road, and you're never back there again. So it's kind of the first hole is like literally, like, you know, a chapter that you just don't see again until you get back to 18, which is right next to it. So it's kind of like similar to the old course. So I would do that for number one there.
Like it.
Yeah.
And we're already bookending it with on 18. Favorite closing hole. Oh, we've got Pebble.
Yeah.
Of course we have. Of course we have. Right. So what about
So now
the
I
turn?
need a second hole. Oh,
well,
the turn?
turn. I'm just going to point you around, see what sparks some thought.
Well, I was going to do 11 at the old course, actually.
Okay.
Great choice.
Yeah, it's because for me at 11, the tee box is high enough where you can see the town.
Well, we're talking about 12 or 11 here. The short par 4 or the par 3?
I mean, I'm intending to play the par 3.
The 11th, which is a slightly elevated tee, and
Yes.
you're right. You can, if you do look behind you, you can
Yes.
see the town.
So I was
and
mistaken.
It's your
that you-
last hole, sort of in the outward direction.
Exactly. Yeah. After that hole, you're going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Bruce likes us to constantly remind our listeners of how good he is at golf throughout our podcast. It's a bit of a theme.
Oh.
Bruce had a hole in one there last year.
You did not.
Yes, he did.
Jesus. I'm so glad I picked it because now I know. I've never known anyone who had a hole in one there.
No, you've met him now.
That's incredible, dude.
What was
Yeah.
it? 6 line?
6 iron. Yeah, I was just messing around with my brother Harry and a guy who's
Just
a good
messing
friend,
around.
Scott, who is a pro here, and we were just having a little like friendly match, and I did just hit a really nice
Called
shot.
it in
So
the
I
air
just
as well,
get
didn't you?
in the hole flippantly, as we've all
That's
said
amazing.
thousands of times. And then
That's amazing.
And the pin was just tucked over the bunker, so I didn't actually see it go in. And my brother Harry he just hit like a not one of his best shots into the front bunker, and so he kind of walks up 30 yards ahead, just in a slight huff, and then
Yeah.
kind of went up just to check and said, "Oh my God, you've holed it." So,
Amazing.
that was quite an amusing one. But
You know, by that logic, I'll pick the 6th hole at Rustic Canyon. Little par 3. So I'm done with par 3s, I think. No, I got one more.
You can have as many
You
as
can
you
have
want.
many
You
as
can
you
have a
want.
scorecard that's
I can have
58.
whatever I want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the 6th hole at Rustic Canyon, 200-yard par 3.
200.
200 yards, yeah. Happened to get a hole in one there. Totally unrelated.
Right.
Totally unrelated. I'd been playing golf for 2 years and kind of
wow.
skanked a 4-iron. Didn't know how lucky I was. Couldn't find the ball. Finally looked in the hole. There it was. Holy shit.
You've both had, you both had hole in ones. I've played since I was 7. Never had one.
Yeah.
Is it anticlimactic?
You must have done something in a previous life that was pretty bad.
I've done plenty of bad things in my current
In the
life, to be
current life,
honest.
right.
So,
Is it as anticlimactic? What did you say?
is it as anticlimactic as I can imagine it is?
What's the longest you've ever gone without shitting? Was it a relief when you finally went?
Probably, yeah, probably.
That's what it's going to feel like.
Okay.
I think you'll
It feels
just
like
finally.
relief.
I think you'll finally be able to relax.
I don't think
Oh, there is a really appropriate story we could mention here, actually, on that note. But I think we might
Might
save it for
walk by
another time. Might save it for off air.
I think so.
I think yours is quite an interesting one there. That hole in one at Rustic Canyon there, because where where you're not actually sure where the ball's gone.
Sure.
And if you've not quite, I'm imagining it's therefore like a semi-blind shot at least, and you're looking around for a little bit, thinking, where have I hit this thing? How have I
I
lost
had no
it?
idea.
And then all of a sudden you just look in the hole. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was in
The
there.
suddenness of it.
Oh, well, like I said, I didn't know how lucky I was even. Because I'd only been playing for 2 years, so I didn't go through years of, like, being close, getting better, and, like, I didn't deserve it. So even, this morning I was talking to a guy whose job it is to, like, measure the difficulty of golf shots, and he's like, well, yeah, a hole-in-one would be the most difficult. And I'm like, not for me, bro. Like, I hit mine, like, offline on the hosel, and it went in.
And that would have been the shot.
So that's not a perfect shot. In fact, I would almost rather have like 100 birdies with purely struck 6-irons that are tap-ins from a foot.
exactly what I've been going for all those years.
Yeah, there you go.
like-
What a coincidence, Sam. That's great. Well, that's good that you've got that. You're really manifesting it.
Well, this is starting to take a bit of shape. The card.
Yeah.
Cards. And we're getting some colour on here now.
Yeah, this is good.
Other standout holes, things that resonate with you. I mean, you've done quite a bit you've done obviously a lot of trips through Scotland, places in terms of adventures in golf. Any of those kind of big watershed moments for you, clubs you visited, any places?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
golf's taking you to some crazy places, right?
Yeah, we've been all over Iceland, Thailand, Tokyo, Korea, Africa, all over Africa, Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, India, Nepal. Yeah, it's like the thing that's interesting is how quickly something strange becomes normal, right? Like, you know, when people go through like a drastic life change immediately or something, where it's like, you know, maybe I don't know, like if you were to lose a finger, right? You would probably develop. You would probably like contextualize that pretty quickly, and like within maybe like a matter of months, you would sort of just like understand that you have 9 fingers, and it would just be normal. So for me, like the reason why I say that is kind of like it's like for me, like getting on a plane is like that means golf to me.
I was going to say the jet lag point that we started with in a way is kind of like evidence that, because I guess it's just become so you become so accustomed to flying around and traveling so much that.
Well, I think if you're listening, what you didn't see is that we had kind of a relatively relaxed conversation before, and you were like, "Are you sure you're okay? You're tired?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm always tired."
Yeah.
But like, we're just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm also conserving because these are, you know, it's like sometimes it's hard to have like a very engaged conversation. You know what I mean? And you're just like, you know,
you're
thinking, and then you're talking and you're listening. But for me, it's the idea of like playing golf at home is weirder to me than not playing golf after getting off a plane.
Really?
It's weirder to me. Like, it'd be more normal for me to go home and like do other stuff
and not play golf.
Yeah, than it would be for me to go get on a plane and not go play golf
seek
somewhere.
Out golf in somewhere
like
random.
To go on a non-golfing vacation just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if I was at the airport without my clubs, I would be like, I forgot something.
Yeah,
something strange.
Okay, we've definitely got my passport.
Yeah,
but most people don't bring their clubs on a plane.
Yeah.
Like, why would they do that? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And when you get home, the golf clubs, there's no need to take them out of like the the travel bag or whatever. You just kind of sit there. That's
Yeah, so it's been an interesting relationship going all around, and you know, it's kind of like, do you have a favorite dish? You know, a favorite. It doesn't have to be your favorite dish, but do you have a dish that you're just like, I'm going to order that, like spaghetti bolognese or like something like cacio e pepe?
I was going to say something like that.
So like, I love cacio e pepe.
Okay.
And I love ordering it at different restaurants because everywhere they make it different. Sometimes it's saucier, sometimes it's more peppery. You know what I mean? And then that's kind of for me, like, that's all adventures in golf is in a lot of ways. It's just like, oh, cool, they do golf this way over here. Never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you did Lofoten, right?
Pardon?
You done Lofoten links?
Yes. Yeah, that place is amazing. Yeah, I could pick a hole from there. Ooh, this is actually a good one. I think the second and third hole of Lofoten are both incredible. No, I'm wrong. The first hole of Lofoten is the one that goes around on the left, kind of like Pebbles 18th. Therefore, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pick the third hole.
The third.
Do I have the third hole available?
Yep. Third.
I'm gonna pick the third hole of Lofoten, which is my final par 3 if I'm doing a 4.
I was unsure we'd be able to pull this off, but I think he's getting there. You know,
Yeah.
and this is
So the
impressive.
third hole of Lofoten, it's the signature hole, and this has to be holes you played.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Cool. I'm gonna fuck this list up, dude.
Yeah, you can't. Is that your trigger for Siri?
Google's trying to fucking answer some questions.
Is that the trigger word for Siri or something?
Yeah. You're getting too excited.
Who was like, your location is being sent to your
Heart rate's
ex-wife.
going way too high here,
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah,
You've got to
Lofoten's
play the
third.
courses,
This is
otherwise
good.
you'd just be reeling off places that you
So
want to
that's
go
Lofoten's
to.
second, right? That's the par 3.
What was
Got
that
it.
like? You play all
So
three of the
you've
nights?
got
Is that-
Lofoten's third. So we've got
Third.
Maidstone is your first.
Yeah.
Blank. second
Western
hole.
Gales was in early doors.
That's the 4th.
Lofoten
fourth.
Link's third.
I'm pretty
Westinghouse
sure.
fourth.
Jojo, can you check? Can you just see what the signature hole at Lofoten is? I think it's the second hole. And if it is, then
It's a
that's the
par
hole I
3.
want. Yeah, that's the one I want. Yeah.
Okay. So that one will be.
What is that like? I mean, it's unbelievable. I want to go back in the
TBC.
winter and see the Northern Lights, which nobody would do. It'd be
Yeah.
the dumbest thing ever. I think the course is even closed. Lofoten.
Yeah,
Bruce
it would,
says
it would
it's the
make
second.
no sense,
It'd be no-
like you
it'd
say.
make no
It's
sense
pretty
at all.
much shut, isn't it?
Yeah, it's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tom Doak says it's good. Even the holes that aren't on the water, he says they're good, and I believe he's smarter than me.
Night golf for the Northern Lights. or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Quite-
I mean, it's magical. I mean, the thing is, those sorts of things are endeavors of people who just ultimately care. You'd never set that up, would you, really, for financial gain? I think it's built some status, and it now is doing really well. But
Yeah.
that just comes from a place of wanting to give back, doesn't it? I think for the people
Totally.
that set that up.
Yeah. There's just something like almost a deep, like, emotional feeling I think you get in the UK and Scotland. I remember when I was at university here, like, when you get to sort of like creeping towards April, May, June, as the days are getting longer, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I could literally play golf from 4 a.m. to 11:30 at night, and yeah, I think there's a real
wild.
deep feeling of joy to be had there.
Yeah.
Being able to, and Lofoten Links, I mean, you could basically play it, during the height of summer, you could just play it non-stop.
It's maddening.
Basically, it doesn't get dark, does it?
It would be. Why did you call it cookie jar?
Well, this is a long,
people know
slightly
this? Do the
anticlimactic
Van
story.
Rooyen asked us this, actually. He loved this story.
Oh, yeah, he's a good guy. Spells his name right.
Yeah, well, we decided we were going to set up a podcast. We had no idea what to call it, and it's like every decent name's taken. When you need a collective, like yours is your name.
Yeah.
You're sole contributor. We're a collective. And you'd made this reference. Do you remember like the President's Cup, 2004? 2004?
No, I think it was 2009 at Harding Park.
Tiger's playing in that cross sweatshirt, and he hits the 4-iron. His arms go outstretched after he hits it. He sort of like spins the club, and his arms are outstretched, and his little hand dips down like it's in the cookie jar.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a bit of an elite Tiger reference.
Oh, I like that. Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit niche,
It's a bit
isn't
niche.
it? But again,
But
it
then
comes
this
from
podcast is a bit niche.
The three of us all just, I don't know, fucking around and making jokes on the course, and then all of a sudden, I mean, Sam, I think, just hit a shot and, gave it a massively, overblown sort of, club twirl, and then I think I just, made a throwaway comment, and then all of a sudden we decided to call a podcast.
But names stick,
after
don't
it.
they? Do you know, it's like all of a sudden that sticks. Like you press on doing the podcast for a bit, and it's like, oh crikey, now people just call it the jar.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
The jar.
it's just called the jar.
That's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that because, we were talking, you were talking about, like, I thought it had something to do with reaching, like it does have to do with reaching into a cookie jar. But, like, if you could play golf all the time, you would get sick in the same way that you would get sick of just eating cookies all the time.
Yeah. And that would be a better reason for calling it that than some not being Tiger reference, but there you go. Okay, so what else? So what else in your golf career today have we not talked about?
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
I mean, there's so many places that I'm keen to. Yeah, I'm keen to get I'm obsessed with golf travel. All of our listeners are totally obsessed with golf travel. Cool. But I mean, teeing up a ball in Israel, getting off a plane and going to play golf in Africa. These are experiences that, if I'm honest, 99.9% of golfers are just never even going to even consider.
Yeah, totally. No, it would make no sense. If you had, I would want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it would make no sense.
You'd need your head examining, really.
You would need to either like travel a lot and like not need to work, I guess, or like there's no incentive to do that. I have met a couple people who have like played a lot of golf around like, in really, really wildly different places. And I'm always wondering what the hell's wrong with them. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad idea. It's just a strange idea.
It's you almost got to go more out of your way to some of these places. The logistics of getting there,
exactly,
to then go and play 18 holes.
Yeah,
I guess you got to be of a certain sort of disposition to go through all of that.
Totally.
Play.
All right, so let's. I got to keep doing work here. So I'm thinking. I wanted to play Crystal Downs for a while,
right.
And I had a great coincidence come up where I was like talking to Tom Doak when we were filming with him at the Loop, and I said, Tom, I really wanted to play Crystal Downs. Is there any way, is that possible to just call them and play? And he was like, no, I'm a member. We can just go play.
No way.
So I played golf with Tom Doak at Crystal Downs. We had a great day.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've actually played with him twice, also at Kilspindie, which would have been a great first hole. That would have been a sleeper first hole.
Yeah. Little sort of par 3. Well, not for me. Hosloff.
Another day.
In fact, mutual friend Malcolm Duck, actually, a little shout out to Malcolm for he set us up at Kilspindie. I seem to remember him telling us a story of you and Tom arranging that to play at,
we had a great time
Kilspindie and just having a great day.
Yeah.
So,
what's it like playing with Doak? Before we go on to the Crystal Downs holes.
I mean, the guy...
Does it make you look at the course differently? Like, I mean, he's just... You kind of come away looking at the setup.
I mean, it was interesting to see, like, for him, it's not about, like, he's like... He's fascinated with the ground. And not so much with the way his ball... Right, he's looking at the course from a totally different. He's on some other drug, right? Like he's taking something else, right? Like we're over here just like doing our thing, and then he's over there just like on some other shit. Yeah. And so that's cool, and like he hits his ball, and like he didn't care.
No, he's just like, wildly intense on. Yeah,
he's just an encyclopedia. Like the guy knows a lot. So I really enjoy spending time around people who have a deeply specific. Training, who know a lot about one thing. That's always really interesting, I find. So it was cool, But at Crystal Downs, I want to say it's the It's 5. 5th hole.
Is it the 5th?
5th at Crystal
Mackenzie's. That was the Mackenzie's masterpiece.
Oh, so it was great. Fucking A. 5th hole at Crystal Downs. This is going to get me a lot of respect amongst the, the Johnson.
Not if we don't edit this.
Okay, so now I owe a 3rd hole.
3rd hole, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, and then a lot of the back 9.
And then a few on the back.
3rd hole. I can find a 3rd hole.
Do you know, I think there's something interesting there in the back 9. A lot of golf courses do get a little bit forgettable from the 12th hole onwards, don't they? I think is it David McClay Kidd who says most golf courses should finish at 14 holes.
Love that.
And a measure of a good golf course is one where you want to carry on playing.
By that logic, let's make the 12th hole something at Prestwick. I think it's the 12th hole at Prestwick. Is that the
Par 5.
Is that that's a par 5?
Yeah, it's not a bad hole. It's got a really funky green. It's got the half pipe entrance green.
Is that from the original kind of routing, or is that one of the newer holes?
Now I'm under the gun.
I was
don't
thinking
know.
of.
Well, the original were only 12. There were only 12 holes on the original.
Yeah, like
But
how
what was
about
the
that?
last?
Like, can I call back
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, you can have the 12th
hole
on the
at Prestwick
original.
from like 200 years ago.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we had.
Has anyone played it? Have we played it?
No,
It's
well,
going to be open in October. You guys going to go
Yeah,
play?
Yeah, we're going to be
I'd
doing
love
it.
to.
Yeah, I was trying to come back for that.
Amazing how the membership's done that, because I think, it's just that's going to take so much work. They've only got, I think, 6 green sites of the original 12 that they can still lean
wow,
on.
that's interesting.
And they only play 2 or 3 of the original holes. I think 3 and 17 are some of those.
Yeah.
So it's a load of work to reinstate new green sites, reestablish a different routing. I mean, I'm going to go there. I want to play it with hickories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
There's a lot of crisscrossing going on as well, actually. So
Totally.
There's a little bit of concern, understanding they have about just how they're going to manage people around the golf course, because obviously
totally.
it's going to be such
But in
a
a
popular
recent pod,
thing.
Richard Pennell took the 9th hole at Woking, but Tom Simpson's 9th, which doesn't exist. So I'm going to give you that, Eric. I'm going to give you
I
the
appreciate
12th.
that. Okay.
No. 12th at Prestwick, original routing.
Yeah.
Or routing, as we
I
say
like
in
that.
America.
And that's just that says something there, because I think there should be
12's
shorter
optimal.
holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Totally.
Nice. 9th hole. I'm going to ask you to pick a 9th hole, Eric, because I think there's some
Good
well,
halfway
necessarily good
houses.
ninth, but yeah, typically halfway houses I think yield some good stories
That's
and
a
some
great.
fond memories.
That's a great call.
So
For me, I think best halfway house is going to be National Golf Links.
fair.
Strong.
Also a bit.
What's that like as a
bit,
place?
A bit schmancy.
Good.
Well, I've only played 14 holes there.
Okay. Therein lies the story. So.
Well, actually, we spent about an hour in the halfway house.
No way.
Lightning delay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to go play at National, and we got stuck at the turn. We were and National is one of these courses, kind of like the old course, where it is out and back.
Right.
Really?
My guy, you're like 2 miles away. So yeah, we're out there and we get this one, horn goes off, and it was actually really cool because we're all in this shack, like 15 dudes in shorts and pinstripe polos and belts and sneakers and golf shoes, just like
Holderness and Bourne commercial.
yeah, exactly. Just literally all named Peter Millar, and we're just diving into the Ritz and the peanut butter, and it's great. I mean, it's like humid as hell, and it's just raining, and we're just like kind of just having a laugh, and like.
Yeah.
And then we go out and play, and we hit our tee shots, and then the bell goes off again. So we go back in another hour in the pro shop, and like at this point now, some guys are like, "I'm married, I got to go," and but we ended up staying, and we had this other hour there, and it was a lot of fun, And then we then got through three more holes or so. And we got to the 14th, and then it looked really dark.
Yeah. Is it one of those like the Caddyshack, the heavy stuff's coming down for quite a while?
Yeah, it didn't like rain that much, but it just looked gnarly, like black clouds and lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. The East Coast has a lot of that. So yeah, I'll put Nationals 9th there, about to make the turn.
Yes.
Which I think the turn stand is actually like a little bit off of the 9th. I don't know if it's actually on the 9th, but we're close enough.
Yeah,
right?
totemic.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the 9th, JoJo? It's the 9th at National is a template hole. So let's try and see if we can think about what that one is.
Do you buy into all this template hole stuff? It's so
As an
big in America.
Yeah, I mean, you would, if you didn't buy into it, it'd be like not buying into like, the highway system. Like it's just, it's a thing. Like it exists,
Yeah.
whether you're a fan of it or not, like it exists,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I buy into it. Like, I don't know that I really care that much.
No. It's like they say, it's got a Redan. It's like, so what? It could be a really bad Redan.
That's a good point. I mean, I guess, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just play the hole.
Yeah.
Play the hole. I think it's cool because there are very few examples in all of life where you can walk through a history book, kind of. And like this is like in America, obviously the whole courses aren't that old, but it's cool that they're kind of like it's like DJ. Like we're DJing right now because I really like London Links.
Okay.
London Links, love it.
London Links.
Cool story there with the two clubs.
Super cool, right? With the way that they've kind of like vacillated.
Once a year or twice a year, they play the original London Leven mix over.
Wait, you know what would be a good third hole? St. George's. Isn't that the Hell Bunker? Or isn't that not the Hell Bunker, but isn't that the
Himalaya Bunker?
The Himalaya Bunker?
Fourth hole.
Fuck.
It's killer.
Yeah, this has got to drive you guys crazy.
It's a killer
How many
exercise.
different times have you done this?
Well, once, but like I think things have changed for me quite a bit. And if you do it every day, it will always change. But I mean, Andy Johnson was like, I had to simplify this because it would have taken me a fucking year to get it done, and I wasn't prepared to give you a year of my life for your podcast. So,
well, and I did the opposite. As I said, I have to just do this on live, and you're like, this is gonna be hard to edit.
Well,
no, but it's good because it is. The thing is, the main thing is, it's about the stories. It's not about it's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
I think that's
the
why,
debate and the discussion,
and that's why it's
it.
cool, kind of getting to talk about some of these clubs and stuff.
Realizing how many great fourth holes there are actually.
There are so many great fourth holes.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be cool. Have you guys ever played Dunaverty?
No, never.
What?
Want to get out there? That's It's just
you guys
another
are fucking do. Oh wait, do I have the seventh hole open?
Seventh's available.
Shiskin.
Okay.
Straight in. 7 Shiskins, not the par 3 up the hill, is it? No.
I hope it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm just kind of like trying to make this work here.
No. Shiskin's in. Everyone's a banger in Shiskin.
Yeah,
like, it's
Shiskin 7th. I think that's right by the cliff. I think it's either the par 3 by the cliff or it's the par 4 just after.
I mean, that whole little area is still not done. Macrahanish, Dunaverty.
It's hard to find. Google doesn't really know how to help you with
That's why I keep saying you can't. It's really hard. When people send you through their scorecards, you have to dig out hole yardages.
Yeah.
That's when they prepare their scorecards, though. So it's not a.
Yeah. What are you saying? How do you find the layout? What do you look at?
Pro visualizer, but even that's just
there's a real opportunity in cataloging holes.
Yeah, I think there's a really good way we could catalog holes if we just use the community. And whilst on that topic, one thing we talked a lot about courses, the community and stuff that you're building through Random Golf Club. Then, so let's talk about that because I think that's a good way of closing this.
Closing it. We're done.
Well, no, we haven't got to be done, but we haven't got to get through all 18. I'm worried that we can get you to 18 if you want to get to 18.
You gonna run out of batteries?
No, we've got 72 hours on this. We should be right.
That's a long pod.
How long we're 55 in, but we got tons of battery on this.
I'm just going to join this. This is like an absolute nightmare. Like I'm going to have a fucking nightmare doing this podcast.
So you want to get to 18? We'll get this to 18.
7th hole is a par 3 called Himalayas at Shiskin, and it's right before a par 4. I could swear this is the one where you hit up the hill.
Up the hill. That's what I say.
Yeah, you played it, right?
No. I'm like Rain Man for golf holes.
You spend enough time just...
You're in debt, dude. All right, here we go.
Golf course pornography is essentially what I'm into.
So Himalayas means it's a blind tee shot, I believe. Club selection is vital here. An intimidating tee shot, but there's far more room right.
That's the one. It's in.
Yeah,
Say no more. Himalayas. It's in. You had me at Shiskin.
It's amazing, dude. All right.
Okay.
And then we got the front 9 done.
Pretty much.
You could pick a third.
Oh shit, that's
3's
right.
tricky because all the good ones are the 4th.
Yeah, that's a good point. 3's tricky. I could say, you know what I'll do? You know, I really like the 3rd at Bandon Trails.
Okay.
Par 5.
Most people who've been to Bandon seem to pick about 4 courses from it.
Yeah, it's easy not to.
How is it that good?
That's bizarre. Yeah, I mean, it's also my favorite course at Bandon.
Really?
Yeah, so I know. Hot take, I know.
Pacific and Bandon are they're the two like headliners, right? They're the ones that are known as the best.
Yeah.
But it's massively debated. And you've got Trails.
For me, Trails has an intimacy that the others don't have.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, you could also pick the 3rd at Spyglass, which would be kind of baller, but I'm going to save a back 9 Spyglass. So I think, it's tough.
So Trails 3.
It's a tough game.
Yeah. 10 MPCC. Does that you?
I don't think I could pick a hole from there.
Monterey Peninsula.
Yeah, I played there, but I don't think I could.
It's just popular. I've never played it. Everyone always picks 10.
I got an easy one. 15 at Cypress.
In.
There we go.
You know about it? The first of 2 back-to-back par 3s.
The short one, isn't it?
The shorty.
Yeah.
90 yards, a little flick.
Is that all it is, really? 90 yards.
And it's like, it's a hole in one city. Sam hasn't gotten one there yet, but
I'm saving it for that one. Right? I'm going to ring you up on the 16th tee and say, I'm here. And by the way,
I like that.
I've done it.
Okay, this is...
I have to pick a hole from Augusta.
Have you played? Oh, of course you played Augusta, haven't you?
Yeah, I can drop a hole in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean,
I'll do the...
there's some pretty excellent holes.
You've got to
Augusta
pick a
you
good
could
one.
possibly pick. I mean...
I'll do the...
10, 13, 14, 16.
The 12th would have been a good one, huh?
We had Richie Ramsey. He wanted to have 11 Shinnecock, but he's like, I can't have 2 par 3s back to back, and I've got to have 12 at Augusta. And you're like, it's a nice problem to have, Richie. I've played neither.
Right. I'll do... so I've got... I could do the
10 or 13, surely, if you're
yeah, I think
for
it's the
ANGC.
13th.
Yeah,
I parred that hole. It was kind of sick.
yeah.
It was pretty cool. I was kind of excited about that.
On that, lengthening the 13th, obviously they've just moved the tee back there, I've spotted.
Yeah.
Distance debate, pro game, amateur game. Do you care on distance?
Don't.
Distance debate, no opinion.
Don't care. No. Pro game to me is kind of like, I don't really care about the details of going to outer space either. I think it's cool that we're doing it, and I'll watch, but I don't really care about the science. I think they do what they need to do.
They're playing a different sport.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they have the same rules. That's my biggest take. Why would they have the same rules? Cars don't have the same rules when they race. It just doesn't make any sense. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think it's one of the great things about the sport that when we do tee it up, but maybe this is the crutch we use for why we don't change it, but it's that we are playing the same game. You know, it's like...
You're not. The greens are the same
I get
speed.
it,
Sorry.
but the hole's still 4 1/4 inch size, and
Well, you're just playing the golf course fundamentally because it is an individual sport. There is no element of comparison with your opposition, and you can just say, "Well, I am playing the same golf course."
But see, even like you're right. It's the only sport where you can do that because tennis, it is exactly the same court, but you're not returning 100 mile an hour
You're not
tennis
facing
ball
Nick
or
Kyrgios
baseball.
or whatever
Exactly.
in the final.
But golf is like that, but it's also not, dude, because it's like, how many 237 yard par threes do you come across?
yeah, well, too many probably because I think one's too many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's just, it's like we just put up the breaking 90 of the old course here, and it's like, like I read most of the comments, right? And it's funny to see some comments come in and they're like, well, you're not really playing it the same as the pros are because you're on a different tee box. And I'm like, well, really? Like, these are as far back as you can possibly go and still not get in trouble. Because in Scotland, the rules are different than they are in America. Like, the back tees aren't open a lot in America,
Right. Yeah. And you can't go tune it up before the tournament, but it's essentially the same. And most of the time, they don't always stretch it out to the very backs anyway. They'll use a composite, particularly links where the wind will play a factor and stuff.
But there's a hopeless sort of romanticism, isn't there, to the idea that even if we are playing off forward tees primarily, you could say, well, I went and played St Andrews for the first time, the home of golf, walked the same fairways that Seve and Jack Nicklaus and Tiger, and I shot a 75 or I broke 90 or I broke 100 or whatever. And
you're walking the
that
same
we cling
grounds.
on. That's
I'll
something
agree
we
with that.
cling on to.
Yeah, you can get a photo on the Swilcan Bridge just like Jack and Tiger.
But there's this obsession, isn't there, with difficulty as well and getting it off the backs. And I tease you because you like to go to the backs. I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, one of our good friends plays a lot of golf, played every links in Britain in a van, traveling around, great guy. And he, to speed it up, he just plays in the tee box closest to the green. Sure. And it's like, it doesn't matter playing forward. And I think maybe things like breaking 90 are cool because it's like, oh, that's what it's like trying to do it as an amateur. But actually, it doesn't matter. We don't need to go back. We don't need to stretch every golf course. And so many golfers have this ego about needing to get, unless I've played it from the absolute backs and shot 95, it wasn't a fulfilling experience.
Yeah.
No.
It's just bollocks.
And I'd agree with you, yeah. I mean, to come back to your initial point, Eric, like I think maybe where we've sort of lost our way collectively as a sport a little bit over the last few decades or so is the idea that we need to toughen golf courses up because that's actually, we need
to make it easier.
Someone like a Tom Doak would look back in horror and say, well, the idea that fairways have been narrowed, long, you're getting long gruff and trees growing up to make a course trickier and more difficult. Yeah. Actually, that's just not enjoyable for the vast majority of golfers.
And we've eliminated, the strategy and everything then, because we've seen execution-based PGA Tour golf, which the amateur golfer can't live up to, We've now removed the ability to use thought and been like, well, yeah, actually, I'll just take the safe line. I'll go well left. I'll find my ball and I'll move it on. I'll make a cheap bogey.
Or I want to have a quick game and I want to just step up,
Yeah.
have a quick swing at it and not worry about having to go and find it because I know that there's plenty of short
Kind of
grasses,
going
pretty
through a
generous.
renaissance, though, isn't it, a little bit? And I think it's fair to it, particularly in America, people like Tom Doak, obviously the work Corey and Crenshaw are doing, Gil Hans, stuff there, Southern Hills, great major course presentation that I thought this year. Maybe it's coming back on vogue a little bit. I don't know. Any more abandoned courses that are going to make this list? None.
I've got 3 more.
I know. I've got 2 because I got
We've
my
got
10th.
3 more courses.
3 more holes.
Yeah.
Shit, we've nearly done this.
I've got my 10th. Barnbougle.
Okay.
Mike Clayton.
Dunes
Tom
Lost
Doak.
Farm
okay,
or
so the
Dunes?
Dunes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Barnbougle
Mike
Dunes.
Clayton and Tom Doak.
10th hole, massive uphill par 4. It's just like looking at your own death.
Was that on yours, Bruce?
Into the
I
wind.
think it was.
Yeah.
I think it's
That
490 yards. Wait, someone else picked the 10th at Barnbougle?
Bruce.
No,
You did?
I think
you are a sadist.
I think I picked.
Bruce is a sadist. That's a very
terrible.
good,
I think I
accurate
picked like
representation.
14.
Terrible hole.
I think I picked 14 actually.
That's when you turn around and go
Well, you
into the
could-
wind.
Yeah, when you've got the nice little sort of estuary or something on the right hand side.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually quite a short par
Yeah, it's
4.
a cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the 10th is
It's
It's a
brutal.
cutie. Love
So,
that.
so why are you picking the 10th?
It was memorable for me. I remember being like, this fucking hole.
We just had a discussion
And I
about
think I
brutalizing
partied, which was like
golf.
incredible,
Okay.
And I remember then I asked, because that was supposed to be the first hole, apparently. And then they switched the 9s at the last second.
Right.
Clayton and Doak. This is Doak's first chance to build a golf course.
Was
with,
it?
With Clayton. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
right.
like their
With
first
Clayton,
kind of
right.
thing.
First
And
collab.
then basically Doak then, after that was a success, he then, I don't know, he got some other golf course, I guess. Went on to be like him now, where he's like, I'm a super busy guy. So, yeah, I just remember that. It was a very hard hole.
Clayton's building, of course, a new one up in Tassie, isn't it? That'll be open
7 Mile
this
Beach.
winter. 7 Mile
looks
Beach. It's
pretty
going to
awesome.
be
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to be Friday.
Pine
night.
Valley,
Wait.
Pine Valley by the sea.
Matt
though.
That's not New
Goggins. No. That's the
That's
Tom
9
Doak.
Mile Beach?
No, Tom Doak's got this new one, the Terror Eye links that.
Yeah. I thought
those
7
guys.
Mile Beach. Oh, okay. it's
7
not-
Mile Beach is also up in Tassie. Matt Goggins got this land. Mike Clayton's doing the routing and
Yeah.
building this course. It's going to be
Good
silly.
guy.
Yeah, it's going to be like, Pine Valley on the sea, basically.
I can't wait. So we just have 2 left, 14 and 16.
Which I've always scratched my head as I think I went with Portrush 16, which is a nice golf hole. It's tough, but it's just iconic.
Is it nice or is it just, again,
It's
on the
brutally
theme
difficult.
of sadism, I think it's...
I mean, I've got no long iron game to
Oh, you're
lean
talking
on.
about the long par 3? Yeah, you.
But yeah, that's
you
what I'm saying.
don't like
14,
yourself very
16,
much.
sometimes tricky.
You need to advocate for yourself, Sam.
yeah.
You need to start picking easier holes. 14 and 16. This is where it gets interesting now. We've got 2 left. 16 at Waste Management. That's a good call. It's a bit signature-y, though.
But there is something
any-
that's a lot
yeah.
of fun around that golf hole, Like,
Oh, it's
I've never
wild.
played it, but, there's this like, okay, beer cans been thrown on the course and stuff. I'm a traditionalist, personally.
Are you?
Yeah, I think
The
I
pink
am.
Mike gave it away. I didn't.
Yeah. No, I think I'm a bit traditionalist. But there is something a lot of fun about that event. And PGA Tour golf, that does dishwater most of the time.
Yeah.
But when you watch Waste Management, it's quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
Did you not say on an earlier podcast that you hated the sight of beer being thrown on the green?
Probably. I don't like it. But it's still quite a cool event. I'm trying to get on board. I am
Like
on
the
board.
overall vibe.
I'm on board with the event.
Sam,
yeah.
Just
grow the
reduce-
game, man.
I'm not into that either. I'll bring my Shrink the Game t-shirt tonight.
16, yes, you're thinking Waste Management. That's interesting. I'm kind of like trying to recall, like, for me, some of the early courses that I played. I'm trying to think about that. Like,
I mean, Dornoch 14 is a good golf hole.
is that the one? Is that the one along the sea?
It's the bunkerless. You didn't like Dornoch, actually.
Well, it was a tough day.
Yeah.
No, I liked it. It was just.
I know what you mean.
Here's the thing. As an American, you come over to Scotland, and what do you not want to see? A ton of douchey Americans getting out of a helicopter onto a beautiful little golf course in the middle of nowhere. That's what I want. And that's unfortunately what I got. And at the time, I was probably a little too young to realize that, like, I don't need to let that affect my own experience of a place. But, like, the last thing you want to do is pull out, like, rip your own fingernails while climbing up some random, quiet, hidden place and get to the top and see a red carpet with, like, a bunch of people getting out taking photos who smell like cologne. You know what I mean? Like I worked for this shit.
Yeah, we've
so
sort
when I
of
get
stumbled,
there,
yeah.
and so when I get there and there's a bunch of other people that like, you know, hey, it's fine, I get it. I don't have a problem with that. But it colored my own experience in a way that I was like, oh, you know what? That's why I go to Iona next, right?
We've sort of
You
stumbled
like the
on, yeah.
slightly more under the radar.
Yeah.
Just
It's not even that I'm a golf purist because I don't even know what that means and I don't know if I really care. It's that I'm an adventure purist. Where like I want to go. The thing that really gets me interested is a place that is truly like intact. And so culturally, you know, in France, they mandate that you have to play a certain number of French songs on the radio. That's because they're trying to keep their culture intact. And so that's why it's like, hey, man, like, of course, a lot of people that can afford to play these golf courses around here, you have to be a doctor in the United States or you have to have like a job or something. You know, it's like they do a good job of making it possible for locals to play these courses. But like, you know, yeah, that was definitely a factor for me of going to Dornick and looking forward to it. And I looked forward to playing Dornick for so long because when I was 2 months into playing, someone told me about this place called Dornick. I heard about that before the old course.
right.
And so Dornick for me was going to be this like found land. And when I got there were a bunch of people with
And you
their
found
fucking
it was
hands
there.
in the cookie jar.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
No, they are. And the thing is, we sort of stumbled on it, but it is an interesting topic. And, you know, we spend a lot of time in Scotland. We go and play a lot of really good courses around Britain. We're very lucky in that regard. You see a huge amount of the tourism market. And I always think, it sounds like such a douchey statement, but people wreck places.
Totally.
And the problem is, any place is then a victim of its own success.
Yeah.
Which is
Did
why
you see that
places,
shot? That guy hit a shot from the Dunvegan to the 18th green.
the one you loaded up on, yeah.
We've got to talk about that.
Hey,
That's
Splashed
like, there was
down
an
around.
American guy that came in. No. Yeah, I'm part of it.
He was a
I'm part of
player, by
problem
the way,
for
that Aussie guy who
Harrison
did-
Crow can play golf.
Yeah.
I'll pick
That
his
He is a
14th.
player.
absolutely outrageous to see. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was a ball striker. He was an out and out
for
flusher.
Sure. For sure. Guys, I'm really struggling about the 14th and 16th here.
Okay,
I'm trying to
I
give you
picked
all my
16th.
attention. You pick North America? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Were you this? If this is a mirror, I need to pick something out. Did we pick anything from Iona yet?
No.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah. See, the problem is Iona. Can I get a 19th hole? Give me the
You can
19th
have a
at
19th.
Iona.
I'll give you a 19th hole.
I'll take the
me
19th at Iona when we get there because that was a made-up hole just for us. It was a beautiful par 3. You know, we get a 19th hole because we played it. There's the
Eclectic
19th at LACC too. That's a nice one. Come on, Eric. There's got to. Wait, do we pick any from Pacific Grove? Because the 16th at Pacific Grove is a beautiful par 4. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so that's right before the 17th where I saw the Batman shirt. It's a nice little.
Perfect.
There we go, right there. That's good.
And Pacific Grove has a place of special meaning.
That's
for
what I
it.
was looking
and
for.
And this is why this is cool.
We're trying to round this out. And we've actually had a meetup on that hole. I've played that hole with 50 people that all played for free. So it's important to round out, like kind of early in my golf career, this was for me golf mecca, long before I ever thought of going to where we're sitting now, the old course, the home of golf.
That stretch of coastline in California was,
and it was a couple hours from where I lived, where I could just take my station wagon and drive up and park. And so, yeah, the 16th at Pacific Grove, and then later on we had a meetup there where 50 people come out. We played golf together on the same hole, strangers, and had a great time. So that definitely should be in there.
That was quite early on in the Random Golf Club as the concept.
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
All right, so now we just have one
So
hole.
now we just have one more hole.
one hole in the
14.
holes. 14. That's fucking hard.
It's really hard.
14th hole. I'm gonna pick the 14th at the Dunes
Soundabelle.
Club. Yeah, because this
14th at the Dunes Club.
Yeah, and I don't even know what that
And
is.
that's in Florida.
It's like a. So it's like.
Were
hey, I
you on
gotta-
like holiday there or vacation or something?
12, 13.
First
Maybe I should just pick the 14th hole from wherever that fucking course is.
Yes.
That's the first time I ever played a golf ball. I was like, take a picture of me, and I held the club like Babe Ruth.
Magnum PI.
Thank you. I had a
You
mustache
look like
back then.
Magnum PI in this thing.
It's like an alligator golf course. There's alligators everywhere. No one will ever pick this, by the way. No one will ever pick this hole on this
That's
course.
why
No one will
it's
ever
perfect.
pick anything from this course. I guarantee it.
No, I think this
No way. This is not the Dunes Club with Kaiser because that's a 9-hole course. This is like some shitty Dunes Club.
Yeah, Dunes Club.
This is like the
That's the
Dunes
whole
Club
point
for
of it.
tennis.
This
yeah.
has got to be unique.
This is tremendously
this is your
personal.
unique
Yeah, this
scorecard.
is like if we're doing right here. If we're doing like a what is it called when you like a alphanumeric key card passcode? Like
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
it? What is it when
No.
you have like what is it when you have the like when you've got the crypto wallet and it's words that it's your code like ghost, sandwich. Like when your password
Yeah,
is
no
like
one's
10
going to be able
words.
to guess this.
This is above,
Like if this was your passcode, no
Yeah.
one's going to guess it.
Yeah, it's like 10
Yeah.
words that are totally unique.
But
Right.
the good thing is,
Password
you could do this
strength,
tomorrow and you wouldn't
12.
land on the same
I would
answer
never
anyway.
remember this. I need a picture. And I also can't read your handwriting, Bruce. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna
you
need-
get your own little scorecard.
Yeah.
You get your own little scorecard with that.
I'm so glad we're
We'll
done.
have our own
This is so
little scorecard.
intense.
Get you a little
Wait,
scorecard made up.
This is-
These are our
who's that?
scorecards.
This is you made this?
Yeah, so that's our scorecard for it. So we'll do one of those.
We'll
Did you make a
make
19th
this
for
up
me?
and send it over.
No, but I'll edit
Iona,
it so
you
that
will?
you have a
19th
19th.
will
You'll
be
have another
made,
row
yeah.
in there.
That's great. Yeaman's Hall. That's good. Who is Matthew Reed?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's the pro at Glen Eagles. He's just
Oh,
a
cool.
mate. He sent me his. He's got a good scorecard. Yeah, we should
That's
wrap
pretty
it up.
good.
Yeah. So that is
Weird
a
that
full
Quail
18
Hollow was like the
holes.
only. Oh, 2 in America, 3 in America.
He was the pro at Quail Hollow for a bit.
Okay, I was like, that's a weird pick. That's what's cool. Weird picks are personal usually.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
so
like, I got laid on that hole.
14.
Did you?
No, never played it. But anyway,
That would have been a brilliant way to close.
actually, before I played golf, I did get laid on a golf course. But like, it was before I played, so it's like I didn't have as much. I didn't remember the whole
You have
number.
the same
you know?
connection.
Did you know that would be an even better 14th?
I played it sort of. I couldn't tell you the whole number though. I would need to go back.
And we just don't have the resources in Cookie Jar to get you back there and retrace the steps. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I know I snuck in through this person's yard,
Yeah.
so therefore, yeah.
No.
What's the finisher, Bruce?
So the finisher, Pebble Beach 18th, followed by the 19th hole at Iona, which,
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, very
Yeah, it's-
special connection
it's-
made specially for you.
Well, yes, but yes, we had developed a relationship with the greenskeepers and the people that look after the property at the course at Iona on this island here that 150 people live at. So yeah, it's a very personal way to continue the game, and it makes no sense because it actually just takes you further away from the clubhouse that doesn't even exist. So you're just kind of this made up hole that's like, I'm sure that there are like gravel driveways that are smoother than the green, but it doesn't matter. And you climb up to this like ridiculous little point where there's no tee box and you're kind of like teeing up off of a rock, and it's just there's no yardage marker. It's just a truly just don't stop playing. Just one more hole,
Just wanted to keep it
We'll
going.
put a flag over there. It's kind of that thing, Wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you hit over. It's like hitting over a miniature 18th at Pebble.
Brilliant.
If the 18th at Pebble
beautiful.
was 130 yards and this whole, you hit over it, and it's a little par 3.
Sick.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sounds amazing.
It's been great. And what better way to record it than Scores Hotel?
Yeah,
We're going to go and party a little bit tonight.
I love
A
it.
few drinks, bit of a barbecue.
Cool.
And we've got
I'd love to eat
tomorrow
dinner
is the
with you.
first day of the 150th.
That's incredible.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
here all week.
Yeah.
Some exciting stuff planned from your perspective?
About this week? Yes, absolutely.
Categorically.
Like, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, this is something that we've been looking forward to since, for me, this week is actually less about professional golf and more about, honestly, it's more about, because this was sort of going to be a victim of COVID, right? This tournament, and they were going to move it, and then it was going to go out of order, and
We got pushed back a year. Yeah.
got pushed back a year. And I remember looking forward to it so much back then. So it's like, now that we're here again, it's kind of feels a bit like, we look forward to this for a while. So that's a big part of it for me. And this is my first time seeing professional golfers here.
Yeah.
When we first time I came to St. Andrews, the grandstands were up, but I didn't see the tournament here in person.
The full kind of
Here
tournament.
comes the year Zach
circus.
Johnson won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which wasn't actually that much of an
It
exciting.
was sort of it was an unfulfilling ending, we can all agree. Except for Zach Johnson and his fans and supporters and family.
Brutal.
Not that I don't like him. I love the guy that lays up on every par 5. But you know what I mean? I think
And on that bombshell, Eric, it's been an absolute pleasure to get you on the podcast.
I actually I think Zach Johnson's a great guy and he's great for the sport.
It's clarified. It's clarified.
But like from a sporting ending,
Yeah, no.
you want that shit to ramp up and be like, what?
It wasn't the narrative
okay,
we all
fine.
craved, was
Best
it?
Sunday,
They
best
had a good-
Sunday in golf.
They had a playoff, and Spieth was there in the mix, looking like he was going to keep the
Yeah, but
Grand
Zach just
Slam
kind of
alive.
snuck up there and took it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fun. He kind of came into the cookie
He
jar.
just
You
wanted
know what I
to-
mean?
and just
Grabbed
suck
it.
it.
But like,
Loves the name.
what's the best Sunday round of golf you've ever witnessed?
Oh, good
In
question.
person or
In
otherwise?
person. I think-
or on camera. Or on TV.
I mean, from a patriotic standpoint, seeing Matt Fitzpatrick win the US Open at Brookline a few weeks ago, I thought was pretty
No way.
Pretty fun stuff.
Well,
There's no way that beats what's in my head. There's absolutely no way.
That's the whole notion of it being subjective, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, again, I think back to
guarantee I can talk you out of your answer.
Stenson and Mickelson at Troon was
You're
pretty
gonna go-
remarkable.
That's what you're going to say, and that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Because that's the best
And Medina
18
was
holes
pretty
of golf
special.
I've ever seen in my
Front
life.
foot golf.
63s?
Yeah.
They both shoot 63s?
No, Stenson shot 63. I think Mickelson shot 64.
Okay, fine. He shot
5.
8 under, not
5, something
7
like
under or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you not like a sense of just, going the other way as well? Spieth and Kuchar just chopping it around the front nine at Birkdale, and then Spieth going on a tear for 3-4 holes on the back nine?
I don't think I saw that one. I really don't. I don't know when that was.
2016.
That was
Birkdale.
following you.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
But there's some great Sundays. We can all agree there's some great Sundays.
No, dude. It
And,
is
and that probably
categorically-
wasn't one when Zach Johnson.
So as long as someone who
Laid up
is going for par
always.
fives wins on Sunday, that's an improvement on.
No. I'm just saying that at some point, I'm sure I'm a fan of Henrik, but like that didn't even equate because it was just like at this point,
Yeah, it was addictive. Yeah.
they're both landing all the punches
Right.
on Sunday with Henrik and Phil. I think I think we can all agree. I need you guys to agree that that's the best Sunday round of golf.
No,
I can't let you take this mic.
Okay, so I'll tell you my best Sunday miracle at Medina. There's no doubt,
Wow.
and for the simple reason.
Says a European, of course.
Yeah, well, of course. But hang
up
on.
there.
So for anyone that is a European, my wife absolutely hates golf. Hates it. Probably a product of me playing so much of it. But, she was actually into it. She was like, for the first time ever, I'm actually really enjoying watching golf. And
Interesting.
First and last time.
She
She
wouldn't,
was- yeah.
and for the last time. And she wouldn't leave the living room. It was like you couldn't move because, Europe are coming back and there's a great narrative there. So that's the one thing you need is narrative, I think. But two,
Narrative.
you do need it, don't you? Like when there's just nothing to play for. It's like you can't get up for who's going to win $4 million in the live thing. It's like there's not much there to really sink your teeth into. But then two, people playing at the absolute top of their ability. When you see the best athletes in the world performing at the very best level, and that did happen there. Like I agree with you, Stenson and Mickelson was class.
Right.
Miracle at Medina. It's in the title.
Yeah, it's a good title. What did they call the thing at Troon?
Jewel in the Sun, sort of.
Mark version 2.0, wasn't it?
Second version.
Duel in the Sun. That was the first one.
was between Watson
Yeah.
and Nicholas.
Yeah.
But then I think they sort of said it was
Turner
like the
kinda wasn't alive when
modern
that
day
one
one.
happened.
Yeah.
No, I don't think none of
I don't know
us
if I can call that. Also, for me, with the Stenson and Mickelson, Stuart and I had just woken up in LA and we got in burritos, and we didn't know what to expect.
Tiger, comeback win, 2019.
Yeah, and that wasn't
The
like
Masters.
that was no 63s, but that's close.
That's got to be up there, hasn't it? But guys who just absolutely admired Tiger, idolized him growing
You guys
up.
ever, did you watch any of those things like Bryson and
Koepka.
Brooks?
No.
You ever watch that?
No interest. I
It's
think I maybe
terrible.
watched a 2-minute
It's terrible.
highlight.
They wanted it to be
Narrative.
Stenson and Phil.
Yeah.
They wanted to be two guys playing at their best, but meanwhile they're both just like
Like,
literally
yeah,
just
yeah.
like losing balls and shit.
Yeah, 75,
And, like,
74. I've
Yeah,
won
and like
one
getting
up, yeah.
weird yardages, and they're like, I don't know, I think I'm 199. I don't know, like I don't know what.
Yeah.
Stuff that's
I'm
contrived just doesn't
offline.
work.
Yeah.
No.
Well, anyway,
Eric, it's been a pleasure to get you on the podcast.
sorry it took so long.
No, it's
get
been
through
great
this
fun.
episode.
It's been good
Brilliant.
Thanks, guys.
fun. Adios.
How's it? You just ended like that? Cool.
Watch this.
That was fun.